Right, guys, Hurricane Liz here. I'm here with Josh and Smack, and tonight we got a heck of a webinar. We'll get Josh and Smack to say hello here in a minute, but I'm super excited about this. Tonight, we've got a guy. I'm not going to mention really that much about him until he comes on. He'll be on at 7:30, but just to let you guys know, he's got a couple of multi-million-dollar businesses. He all started. His story is actually very interesting. I don't even know if Smack actually knows his story, but I'm going to let him tell a little bit more. But the guy is 23 years old, and he's accomplished all of this in his very short life as even an adult. It's amazing what he's done, and he's here today to share with us how he sort of was able to build these businesses. So he's going to share that with us and a lot more. He's going to teach us a couple of very good lessons. As I said before, I've had the opportunity to meet him a couple times. In fact, I met him once at the Ty Lopez event, so I'm certainly excited that he's here. But before we get him on here, let's say hello to, first of all, Josh. Josh, how are you?
I'm doing well, and it looks like I've found a new person to compete against, whoever this guy is.
Josh is competing? Whoa, Josh found a new person to compete with. Yeah, this guy's great, fantastic. He's very young. You still got about 3 years, Josh, so you still got a lot of time. And
never become a man, right?
Yeah, you still, like I said in your birthday post, that's what you're talking about. So yeah, I'm super excited for you. You've got a long life ahead of you, so I'm certainly pumped. Smack, are you there?
I am. After crushing Josh's dreams today.
Certainly,
he's talking to me.
Jet setting all over the world. You were in Canada, I think. Am I right?
Yeah, but Canada is actually so much closer to me than Miami, Austin, San Francisco, Vegas. I mean, Montreal is like just up the road. So it's almost the same place, except they speak French. Way too much French this weekend. I had a headache, particularly in the casino.
Was it you and Ty were up there, right?
Yes, we were. We were there representing Amazon. There were probably 60 people at the event, and Ty and I and Michael Devlin were the only serious Amazon sellers. There were a couple of other people that dabbled. There's one guy I told you before who kept following us around asking about you. Well, what would Liz do? Does Liz do this? What do you think Liz thinks? Is Liz going here? Is Liz going there? So you have an international stalking fan club.
Ah, that's great to know, Smack. Always nice to know nice things like that, but either way, that's awesome. I know you're going to tell us a little bit more about that here in a minute, but I know I'm certainly excited to hear about that. And I know a bunch of other people are probably pretty darn excited to hear about what happened there. I don't even know what kind of event it was, so I'm excited to hear about that as well. So we're certainly going to hear a lot more from Smack here in just a minute. But other than that, we've had an interesting week. Let's jump back into the let me jump up and get this PowerPoint here. Don't really have that much on the PowerPoint today because, oh, I'm sorry. My gigantic cat just decided to jump on top of my keyboard and land right on top of it. So, so today, guys, we want to just recap what we've done here in the past couple weeks. First and foremost, again, my cat jumped on this, so I apologize. We started the PPC Science, so a couple people were asking questions about what should they do with PPC. Are there any tutorials with PPC? There is one right now in the members area that Jack Carvel did a while back, so I still highly recommend you take a look at that. He actually did a live listing with an OMGers cream, so you definitely want to have a look at that. However, last week we started our very first episode of PPC Science. If you guys are not already running your campaigns, make sure that you start running them because we will take a break briefly for the next 2 weeks. This is week 1, next week is week 2, and we're going to jump right back into PPC Science, but we need to gather data. And the reason you're going to need to gather data is we're going to start analyzing those campaigns, going over the data, and taking a look at Excel quite extensively. So I definitely need you guys to have some data. That way we can analyze it and show you how to tweak campaigns. And at the end of the day, PPC comes down to having data. So once you get that data, we can start really digging deep into these campaigns. And lastly, before we jump on what happened with SMAC, next week we've got another webinar planned. This is going to be a good one. We're going to talk about a new emerging market within Amazon. We have a very special guest. I guess I'll just, since you guys aren't on here, I'll go ahead and tell you exactly what it is. We've got a very special guest by the name of Jesus, who's going to be talking about selling in Mexico, and he's going to be talking about the success that he's had. In fact, when I first met him, he was actually telling me that he's been having quite a deal of success, and typically all he has to do is properly optimize the listing, and it lands him on page 1 for categories such as electronics. So it's pretty amazing that right now there's virtually no competition. He's doing really well over there, and he's going to teach you exactly what you go about to do the same thing. And again, he doesn't actually take any great risk. He's not sending thousands and thousands of units over into Mexico. He sends a couple hundred of each. So he's going to talk a little bit more about his system and how he goes about and does that. So you guys should be super excited about that. One thing I wanted to mention to you guys before Smack gets on here and talks a little bit about her particular time at this event. I don't even know what event it was, like I said earlier, but I wanted to tell you guys, if you guys are not already in the Amazon group, right now, tonight, if you request to jump into the Amazon group, I will approve you tonight. So if you're not on there and you want to get on there, request right now, and I will jump over on there while Smack is speaking and get you guys approved inside of the actual Amazon group. So again, that's for people that are on this webinar. I need to make sure I know who you guys are. The name of the group, I'll give it to you guys here in a minute, and I'll let you in that Amazon group that way. I know a lot of people sometimes are intimidated asking questions in project assimilation because there's a lot more SEO questions on there, but tonight you get a chance to jump into that Amazon group, and if you guys are in there, somebody just posted the name. It's OMG Amazon plus Community Mastermind. If you request right now, I will approve you, and you can ask your questions there within the Amazon community. There is a couple posts per day, but again, if you guys jump on in there and start posting a lot more, obviously Smack and I always answer them, and there's also a couple other high-level sellers that jump in there and answer questions too. So again, if you're not in that group, please put a request right now, and I will approve you while Smack's talking. Lastly, Smack was jet-setting around the world. Let's find out what happened on her end. So Smack, I know that I am dying to know what kind of event was this?
This event was titled Internet Marketing Summer Camp.
And you know what, Smack, before you actually say anything, I'm going to delete all these guys that add me to the Amazon group, because we don't want a bunch of people to try to get added that aren't in OMG, so we don't want to let people know that we're doing that. So don't post anything within the OMG way. If you request right now, request for the actual OMG Amazon plus Community Mastermind. Again, we don't want to...
You want the request inside chat, not in the OMG way, correct?
Right.
And you want to actually, yeah, okay, so that they know you're here.
So yeah, so please ask me right now while Smack's telling you guys a little bit about this. I will be approving people right now. So OMG plus Amazon Community. OMG Amazon plus Community Mastermind. So actually, let me just bring it up, Smack, so they can see it really quick, and then you can go and take it away. This is it, OMG Amazon plus Community Mastermind. So I got right now Nancy Robinson, and I'm not sure. I don't think this person is on here tonight. So, all right. So I haven't gotten any requests. So make sure you request here, and I will add you to the OMG Amazon plus community. All right, Smack, take it away. Tell us about what was going on.
Okay, so as I said, this was called the Internet Marketing Summer Camp. Ran for 4 full days in Montreal, 2 days of speakers with general topics, 1 day of really actionable items with speakers, and then 1 day that really ran as a mastermind, that each speaker took a table and everybody got 10 minutes to talk about their issue with that particular speaker, and we rotated, which was a really cool idea in terms of running it as an event and getting time and everything. That was cool. Almost everybody at that group was a Shopify or their own e-commerce store person. Some of them dabbled in Amazon, but there really weren't Amazon sellers there except for Mike Devlin, Ty Nichols, and myself. So that was sort of interesting because it was really pulling me out of my comfort zone. We did, because I have a Shopify store, but I really don't do a lot with it. But a lot of the strategies that were shared were applicable across the board. Strategies in terms of linking products and upsells, a lot of strategies about communicating and sending emails to your customers. There was a really great expert there on open rates and what you could do to increase your open rates, both before and after. She evaluated, a bunch of the autoresponders in terms of who was better, and as well as looking at the data. It's almost like I'd like to get her on here. She was really awesome. But so that was interesting. Got to meet some really interesting people. A guy running one of the biggest data companies in Canada who basically does data mining on Twitter and doing things like predicting elections and can really figure out what people really want from what they're talking about in terms of analyzing it with other data. That was awesome, and I think I've got access to look at that product for a few months. There was also a guy there who ran a sourcing product, has been doing it for 15 years and has contracts with factories all over China. He also runs an inspection service, but what's really cool is that Michael Devlin, who all of you got that 1 month to profits engine, is talking to him about working out a deal where you can order from Profits Engine a sample. So if you see something you like in Alibaba, you can put it in, and this guy and his company will be able to get it for you. And what's really cool is they have a landed U.S. cost, so you don't need to worry about customs bonds or anything, and they can do everything from one sample up to large quantities based on the Alibaba product or the ASIN. So hopefully that's going to be live in Profits Engine in a few months. But what was really cool about that is that if we hadn't gotten, off our asses and out from behind our computer and there, we wouldn't have met any of these people. And going to events is really, really critical because it's where you meet people. And this one was really cool because when people started friending me on Facebook, I'd see we had one mutual friend, two mutual friends. Unlike this sort of incestuous environment where we all know each other in the Amazon world, this was really broadening my reach. So that was really interesting. So I'd urge you all to get out there. The next thing I'm going to is ASD in Vegas, looking for products. I have a couple of my coaching clients that are coming with me, and that should be it's a great way if you can't get to China to get out and meet some suppliers. And there are also a fair number of Amazon and retail arbitrage sellers who go there to check things out. So if you're spending all your time trying to source and do things behind your computer, I really urge you to get out from behind it. And Vegas would be on the 31st through 3rd of August would be a great place to do it.
Awesome, Smack. Well, I just realized that you guys cannot actually see, so I've been adding people that are messaging me, and I cannot see a couple people, so I'm going to add...
I can see it, Liz. I can see your screen.
You can see what? I'm sorry, Smack?
I can see your screen and what you're doing and you're adding.
Oh, yeah, I'm adding people by hand, but I guess they cannot access it any other way other than me actually adding them. So if you guys are not my friends on okay, Marsha's already in here. If you guys are not my friend request me and I'll approve you and send me a PM that says just add me, and I'll make sure that I've added all of you guys later on this evening or tomorrow. So I'm already adding a couple people that are on here. The rest of you guys, don't worry, I'll get you added. and make sure that you are in all of the actual groups. I'm sorry, the group. So don't worry, we'll have it taken care of here sometime later tonight. So I see a couple people that I don't have in here. So again, like I said, guys, I will get you added in here. Just send me a PM and make sure that you're a friend of mine. And like I said, I'll make sure that you guys get added here. So, all right. Well, that sounds great, Smack. I really didn't get to concentrate on that. Can you just briefly tell me again what it was? Because I was too busy adding people. I was really very interested in it.
Okay, so you want me to? It was basically called the Internet Marketing Summer Camp. A group of e-com experts. A bunch of names, some of whom you know. Tanner Larson was there. Basically, they're talking about e-commerce topics. Most of them were Shopify focused. There were only a few of us that were Amazon focused, but there was still a lot of really valuable takeaways and learning, as well as business connections that were made. So I took the opportunity to urge people to get off their asses and get out from behind their computer to do stuff. Awesome.
Well, that's awesome, Spec. Sounds like it was a lot of fun. Where did you find out about this? Actually, Spec always finds out about all these.
It was actually, as compared to the OMG events, I would define it as tame. But it was interesting educationally. I heard about it at the same time from both Ty and Mike Devlin. They both several months ago had signed up through different channels to go and said they thought I should go. And I hemmed and hawed and then figured, well, it would be, good to get out of my comfort zone and go someplace where I didn't know anybody. So it was good.
Sounds like a lot of fun. Question from John Carpenter for you. Hey, Susan, which autoresponder was considered the best one at your summer camp?
She didn't particularly say best, but she showed some stats, and I don't remember them all. I do know that Aweber, which is what I use, did fairly well in terms of her stats, and so did MailChimp. But I don't have a copy of the slide, and I don't have her, list. But I just said, oh, okay, I'm all set, as I was watching that, I don't have a problem.
I've actually been a long-time Aweber user, so that is definitely one of my favorite ones. And I know that MailChimp used to be a lot cheaper, Smack, but do they have a paid version now?
Don't know, because I don't use it. As I said, I didn't really pay. Once I found out that what I was doing was, in other words, I wasn't screwing up my open rate with the autoresponder that I was using, I felt, I felt good about that.
Oh, cool. Okay, awesome. So, yeah, that is definitely sounds exciting. Even though it was very tame, you still made some pretty good connections. And like you said, at the end of the day, it comes down to getting out there. I know that I used to personally hate freaking going to events. And I think I told you this story, Smack. The first time I actually met Smack, it was going to an event, and Dory Friend, is that her name, Dory Friend?
Yep.
Dory Friend invited us to a meetup at the bar in the center there, and we went, and that's the very first time that I met Smack, but we really didn't talk that much that night. There was a lot going on, and we eventually saw each other at another event, but again, usually takes 3 points of contact before you actually make some connection. So I think that's really important.
Oh, this is being recorded, isn't it?
Yes. Can
you turn the recording off for a second? Because there's something really funny I want to say.
No, actually we can't. But you can say it at the end, Smack.
Remind me at the end, and I will share my really funny comment about one of the speakers, who we all know fairly well. I'll share that at the end after the recording's off.
Awesome. Okay, so I'm pretty sure you guys got some gossip to look forward to. So definitely you want to tune in and wait till the end. And so right now I'm still adding some people, and we should be having, our guest should be jumping on here very soon. In the meantime, like I said, guys, I've got a lot of questions about analyzing listings, and also I got a couple questions about, I know you did too, Smack.
Yes.
Sometimes it's difficult for me or Smack to be able to take time from our day and actually do that. So we'd like to typically do them on webinars. If we have enough time for Q&A, we'll definitely jump into some of those. But what we might do is make some extra time next week. I don't actually know how long Jesus's presentation is. And so I will go ahead and make sure that we'll try to get some time in there for it. So give me just 1 minute. I've got to give the guest the code to get into the actual thing. Give me just 1 minute, guys. For some reason, my password thing has decided to stop working. So give me just 1 extra minute. He's going to be jumping on here in just a minute. Okay, so sorry about that, guys, but oops, I just actually, I'll just have him change the password after we're done. Give me just 1 more second to let him know that. Okay, so he should be on in just a minute. And we are, again, still in the OMG way, so if you guys are super excited, obviously I am not very good at using GoToWebinar. I'm still stumbling around here like a total dumbass, pretty much, is the best way that I could actually say it. That's the only time you'll actually ever hear me calling myself a dumbass. I do not know anything about GoToWebinar. I'm very clumsy on it. But sometimes I sort of figure out how to make things work. So remember, guys, we're still inside the OMG way. And what I was talking about is, I think I'm going to take a couple questions here before we get started. I think that's, yeah. Here's Tom saying, come on, Liz. Yeah. I'm sorry, Tom, I got bronchitis. It's just not happening this week. I even told Smack, Smack, you might have to ask some extra questions there because I've got bronchitis.
Yes, ma'am.
Let's see if we can get any more questions here. What thickness of poly bag should I use for bundles? 1.5 mils allowed, Roy. I still typically use 2 mil though because it's a little bit more sturdy. Let's see what we have here. If you had to start again from day one on Amazon, what would be the first thing you would do, Smack?
I'd do exactly what I did. I studied, worked hard, made a decision on a product within 3 weeks, ordered the product. Then I did a whole bunch of prep work and networking in the middle, and then went out and started meeting people. I'd do it exactly the same way that I did it.
Awesome. Actually, I would do things differently. My first 2 products that I actually put up were supplements, and they kind of were, they didn't go so successfully. They sold, but I would probably pick a product that was a little bit less competitive. And I think if I had done that, I would have probably rocket ship to space, possibly. So I would have taken a rocket ship to space. And so that's the main thing that I would have actually done, is not gone after the super competitive products. Because really what it comes down to, again, and I talk about this in every single webinar, is process. Once you have the process down, there'll be a couple incidents where you don't know what the hell's going on. Like today I had one such incident, and I actually sent Smack a text. I hadn't sent her a Facebook message in quite a while. I couldn't figure something out, so I asked her a question, and it was a pain in the butt. It was just kind of one of those weird little questions, but everything else is the same thing, if that makes any sense. It's sort of like driving a car. You know how to drive the car. Every single day it's, as Jared calls it, unconscious competence in your mind. You don't even have to think to do it. But every now and then you'll get thrown for a little bit of a curveball. So you still have to pay attention, but it's like second nature. So once you learn the entire process, you can rinse, repeat it for everything that you have. And when you're thrown for those loops, that's when that's why it's important to get out there, as Smack talked about, get out there at these seminars and meet some people, because those are the people that you'll be calling up on the phone and asking them some questions. So our special guest is actually live, so let me tell you guys a little bit more about him before we actually jump right in. But John, are you there, just so that I can start this intro?
Yeah, hey, how's it going?
Awesome. So he's here, guys. Let me go ahead and tell you guys a little bit more about our special guest before we actually jump into some questions, some Q&A that I have for him. So let me pull that up here. Just some brief notes about you, John. I'm sure you'll enjoy this. I already showed everybody what I had up there, but oh well, that's the way it goes. So this guy, and he's got some great stories to actually share. We'll see which ones he actually decides to share. I was actually thinking about the story, John, of how you got started, because I had forgotten exactly how you got started until I was rethinking it in my head. So I think everybody will absolutely love that story. But anyways, a little bit more about our special guest. He is 23 years old, guys. 23 years old. That's absolutely amazing. He's got his entire life ahead of him. He's been working this business a couple of years now. He'll tell us a little bit more about that here in a minute. But in that time frame, he's managed to build $3 million businesses, and he sells on Amazon, and he's got a couple other things going on. He's going to tell you a little bit more about that. But I actually originally met him through a mutual friend, but again saw him later at the Ty Lopez event. So he spoke at one of the Ty Lopez events because he had actually been through one of Ty Lopez's programs, one of the most successful people coming out of the Ty Lopez programs. So again, at the tender age of 23, you've done quite a bit, John. So I know the very first thing that people are going to want to know about you is tell us a little bit more about these 3 multi-million-dollar businesses. People really have gotten super excited about that.
Thanks. So with the 3 multi-million-dollar Amazon businesses, they're all based on Amazon. And basically, kind of like got my start with the first one. And then after that one started, I really wanted to build a couple more because I was like, well, maybe this is a fluke, so I wanted to see if I could actually do it again. So I started all over from scratch in the same niche and, built another company that, that was the one where I showed you the screenshot where we did in 7 months we'd done 1.1 million. And then I started another one because I was like, well, maybe it's just a niche thing. Maybe I'm just good at this one niche. So then I tried to take that same strategy and move to a completely different niche on Amazon, and we ended up doing over $1 million on that niche too. So now we still have all these businesses, but we're just growing and it's going good.
Awesome. And could you tell everybody again, like I said, this is a fantastic story. How exactly did you get started selling on Amazon?
Well, it started when I was actually detailing cars for a living. So I was like scrubbing out people's nasty cars in Redding, California. And in Redding, California, it gets like to 120 degrees in the summer. Summer lasts like 6 months long. So it was just a really really intense job. And I was like, man, I'm not doing this for my whole life. And so I found this guy that came through my shop, had a Porsche, and basically at the end of the detail, I was ready to give him his keys back, and I was just holding on to him, and I asked him, I was like, so, what do you do for a living? And basically kind of held on to his keys for a bit as we talked, and, over an hour later, he ended up offering me a job, and so it was real cheap wages, but I knew that I wanted to learn from him, and he ended up selling on Amazon. So I shut down the shop, canceled all my future appointments, and quit everything to go work this really crappy wage for this guy and hopefully learn, what he was doing. And basically, after 7 months, of working for this guy, ended up becoming like the #2 guy in his company. And and at this time, he was doing like 500,000 a month in sales. And basically, we ended up joint venturing, starting an Amazon business myself, following like the private label model, which is all my businesses are all private label models. And he invested in it. The unfortunate thing though was like we actually lost all of his investment because I honestly did not know what I was doing. And then I felt like really, really terrible that I like lost this dude's investment who like believed in me so much, and I felt like it'd given me so much. So I basically like took all my $4,000 of savings and invested it in like 3 other products so that I could like make these products successful and get this guy his money back because I really felt like I owed it to him. So those products actually completely failed too. And so then I was at this point in my life where I had just now gotten engaged. I was living in a house that I was renting it from my dad, but then my dad lost like a big source of income, so his house went into foreclosure. The one that he owned, the one that I was living in, was trying to be taken away from me from the bank. We had people knocking on the door, and they had like these papers in their hand. We knew that whenever those guys showed up, we had to like hide from them because we didn't have any money to pay them. I just blew all of our savings, and so me and my fiance at the time, we at this time living in no home to live, no money to buy anything, and everything had just like really failed altogether. And now we're looking at not having a place to live. And then like 2 days later, we find out we have a baby on the way. So it's like, oh my God, this is insane. It was really, really, really intense. I can't explain that enough. But yeah, so I ended up convincing my mom though to invest in one more private label product with me. And she's like, well, you just failed all these times. Why in the world would I do that? And I was like, no, you don't understand. I just figured out every way you can do it wrong. So now I'm going to do it right. And she believed in me. I showed her the plan, and she basically invested like $1,500 in our first product. And basically what happened was it took off. Within 2 weeks, we'd completely sold out of inventory. And then we're like, okay, so we sold out of inventory. Do you want to keep profit sharing with us and then, double down on your investment? And she's like, okay, cool, let's do it. So then she invested again, and we sold out of all that inventory. And then at this time, I convinced her to invest like her whole $17,400 of savings. And, luckily, though, we were really blessed, and we were able to grow the business enough to where in 2 months after she invested all that, we were able to double her money and like put it right back in her savings account. So that was just awesome, but that was how we got our start.
Wow, that's freaking amazing story. But the one thing that I wanted to point out to everyone there is that the guy that he actually met at the car wash is one of my good buddies that I go to China with, including you all the time. So Smack's on the webinar. She might actually know who this is. Smack, do you know Greg Berglund?
I do.
That's the guy that John is talking about. So Greg and Steve Berglund, the brothers. That was John's very first Amazon shot.
Got it. Okay. Yep.
Story.
I got it.
One of the things I was talking about to people earlier, John, in regards to preparing for this webinar, a lot of people are saying here, they're in the group, they're saying stoked by John's story, amazing story, is this idea, and you gave me this idea the other day when we were on Skype and you had your webcam on, and I saw your cute little baby run by, By the way, John's baby is super adorable. He does pull-ups at the like, what? Is he still working on those pull-ups, John?
Yeah, the first one was actually at the Ty Lopez event.
Yeah, Ty Lopez event. So, John, one of the things that I even forgot what I was going to say. Okay, I remember again. Great, good thing. So, one of the things that you remind me of is because I saw you're just kind of like a t-shirt and shorts kind of guy, t-shirt and jeans kind of guy. And so, I was talking about you, I was talking about myself, I was talking about this new era of millionaire that I call the pajama millionaire because, we're kind of cool with being in our sweatpants or our pajamas and or our jeans and our t-shirt. We're totally fine with that. It completely reminded me of you when I spoke to you that day because you were just in your tank top. I forgot what you said you had been doing, but I kind of made up that story for you. I talked about the pajama millionaire. I said jeans first, but for some reason people just love pajama millionaire. They were hashtagging pajama millionaire. So if you guys are excited about what John shared so far, he's going to share some more great stuff. Give me a hashtag pajama millionaire inside the OMG way just to show him your appreciation for him being on here and first of all sharing his story, but not just that, motivating you guys to get out there and do things. Because I think if anything, John certainly taught me, which I've obviously learned this lesson time and time again, but it's always amazing to be able to listen to it. The fact that in order to become successful, you're going to have to sometimes fail so many damn times that people in your family or people that are very close to you, to a certain degree, they might not even believe that you can do it anymore. And a lot of times, that's why it's important to be part of a community and believe in yourself, because at the end of the day, there's no reason why you cannot be a pajama millionaire. Failure is all part of becoming very successful. And if anyone at all here on this call failed as much as John, then you should soon be ready to see that success. So, John, that's a freaking amazing story. It certainly got me fired up, and it reminded me a lot of the tough times that I had to go through as well, and all the failures that I had to go through as well in order to become extremely successful. So obviously you've got a ton of pajama millionaires here. People are just going nuts. They've even got a Lego guy,
teddy bear millionaire.
Teddy bear millionaire. But that is certainly exciting. So I remember that when we spoke this past Saturday and we were prepping for this actual webinar, one of the things that you mentioned is that at some point in the game, you realized that there was one really important thing that really helped you catapult your business to just like the stratospheric level. Could you talk a little bit more about that and what it was and how you realized that?
Yeah. So let me actually preface that with, ironically, another failure. So what happened was, after we doubled my mom's money and put it back in her bank account, what actually happened was literally within that same week, we had our entire business on Amazon shut down. We had all of our funds locked up. We had like 60 grand or something locked into Amazon's account. And the reason that had happened was because the product that we were selling was going really fast, but we didn't have any way to manage it. We didn't have any way to, keep in touch in a, a very personal way with our customers. So if we were just sending them these generic follow-up, it didn't do anything. And so what happened was we started getting tons of bad feedback, tons of bad reviews. And so our reviews on Amazon plummeted. Our returns increased like crazy, and then our bad feedback shot through the roof. And so Amazon's like, whoa, let's put the brakes on this thing, and they shut us down. And for a month and a half, I was like, oh crap, it's all gone again. So I had to kind of scrape by for a bit to actually get food and stuff. But anyways, during that time, I was like, all right, this can never happen to me again. So while I was battling back and forth trying to get Amazon to reinstate me, I was figuring out a solution that could do this, because I was like, I'm selling this product, and there's no way that I can continue selling this product successfully unless I can manage the reviews. There's no way that I can, one, sell it if I don't get enough good reviews, and two, I have to keep that review average super high so that if, because as our reviews went from 5 stars to 4.5, we lost a little bit of sales, not too much, but after it went from 4.5 to 4, we lost some sales, and then when it went from 4 to 3.5, we lost a bunch of sales, probably cut in half, and then it went from like 3.5 to 3, and it sucked to see that happen. But honestly, what happened because of that was our sales like cut by like a fourth, and then all of a sudden we were just shut down. So like what ended up being so great, and we had so much optimism for the future for, it just was totally canned. And I thought that, like there's no way in hell we're getting back from this scenario. So in like a last ditch hope effort, I went out and tried to build something that I could actually like really, really personally follow up with my customers. And so I, hired this development team, with what funds I had left. I hired this development team in India, and we got working on this script that basically allowed me to, personalize my message, because my problem was like, I can follow up with my customers, but everyone knows it's just this regular follow-up, and it's not doing anything to actually, get the response that we want, because everyone knows it's like this corporate template, this corporate like, hey, you bought our product, thank you, leave us a review type thing. So basically, it wasn't getting any response, and I kind of went and had the development team here build out the script that allowed us to personalize every message. So we developed all these little personalized codes from like, saying, the way that we say the product, the way that we mention their first name in the email, the way that we do, the reviews, the way that we structure the actual template, the fonts we use, everything was like really, really fine-tuned and personalized and niched down to basically make this customer experience, if you will, like as like a follow-up. And so, what we did is we built this out, and we got unsuspended from Amazon. They reinstated us, let us come back. At this point, we had no clue whether or not we were going to actually be able to continue selling, because we'd lost all of our rank. It'd been like a month and a half that we hadn't had any sales at all, and so basically we're like, this thing, I hope it works, but we have honestly like no clue at all. And so we got back, and thank God it went straight back up again. We started selling really well, but the amazing thing was that because of this really, really personalized follow-up, the customer experience that we had behind it, our reviews started actually climbing again. So we went to 3.5. Another week went by, we went to 4. Another week and a half went by, and we went to 4.5. And then after like another month, we shot all the way up to 5 stars. And at this point, that same product that I was just talking to you guys about, that we launched like over 2 years ago, that same product now has about 5,000 reviews at a 4.5 star rating. And so yeah, we were really, really like happy about that. But the thing we realized was that we were getting reviews because of this extremely personalized, extremely like experience-oriented follow-up for our customers. They were leaving not just better reviews, but they were also leaving a massive amount more reviews. And that massive amount more reviews is what allowed us to scale to 5,000 reviews. Like obviously, if you guys are searching my keyword, in Amazon, and you see my competitors, and they got 1,000, 2,000 reviews, and then you see mine with like 5,000 reviews. There's like me, and then like a couple other dudes selling, this product that have that many reviews, and so it's like, it really, really, really establishes us as like the top seller for that product. So since when we were able to pass that, really, I think it was about 500 reviews mark, which we were just ticking new reviews every single day. It was like 5 to 10 a day. It was like boom, boom, boom coming in, and so by the time we got to 500 reviews, that was like the magic number that we just started seeing like our sales. And then by this time we had such an influx of reviews, such like because we had them coming in every day. We were going so fast. We were looking at them compared to our competitors, and we were literally getting like 2 to 4 times, depending on the competitor, 2 to 4 times the amount of reviews, and this is our top competitors, by the way, that they were. And that advantage, by the time we got to 500 reviews, was what allowed us to really like pull forward to the top 3 of the pack and just really, really sell. And I think that that's actually what has allowed me to maintain these companies, because a lot of people can talk about how they made $1 million selling on Amazon, or they had like a $500,000 month, or whatever it is, but there's very, very few people, like Liz, you're one of them. I know I'm one of them. Some of the guys here you have on this webinar, I'm sure, are one of them. But there's few people that actually can make these sales happen really big and then keep them that way. And I think that the massive amount of reviews that I've been able to generate for all my products has been like one of my secret weapons for not just making a lot and getting in the top competitors, but also staying there and keeping the business really just like a real business, generating real profits for a really long time.
Right, I agree with you, John. I think reviews are really key, especially if you can get them almost like you've got it done, which is automated, and you have a really good autoresponder that has a really high deliverability rate. I know I certainly have had problems recently with that, and a lot of people that are actually on this webinar have been asking me, what do you recommend for a good autoresponder? And I told you the truth, which is, I told you this a couple of days ago, there hadn't been one until I met you to be able to talk about it or be a little bit excited about. So that's when I talked to you about trying it out, seeing what it was like, and you laid out some of the features for it. But before we actually jump into talking about that, what exactly made you actually decide to jump into the actual software side? I think you've touched on that a little bit, but I just wanted to let people know a little bit more about that.
So in the beginning, I mentioned we built this, simple script that allowed us to, follow up with our customers. I could log into it and figure out how to mess with it, and get things rolling. So after we started getting these amazing results, a few of my friends started seeing and following, my product, and dude, how are you doing this? And I was like, well, I got this secret script, bro. And they're like, oh, can I have it? And I was like, well, actually, no, because it's just this simple script on a server, right? I can't give that to you. And so, having this success with all of the reviews we were bringing in and all the amazing feedback, because all of our accounts have it's either 99.5 or 100. I know you can't get 99.5, but our reviews, our feedbacks bounce between 99 and 100. So between that and between our products, our massive amount of reviews plus good reviews, my friends wanted them, and so I built it out to where they could log on and use it, and then it started I was like, okay, actually you guys are using a lot of emails, and this is costing me some money, so I need you to actually pay me for this. So long story short, about $250,000 later, invested into building this out, and over a year and a half of solid work every day, building this software. I was able to build it out to a software as a service to where really anyone in the world who sells on Amazon can log in and create a account and actually do the same thing that I do for my products for theirs. And so that's what we ended up building out, and that's how we did it. It took a very long time though.
Awesome. And I know in a minute here you're going to do a demo. Obviously that's going to answer my next question, which basically is what makes it better than the rest of the competition. So I'll save that question for until you actually start showing people that the test drive, as I like to call it, you're going to show them a quick test drive. But the last two questions that I have, and then we'll see if either Smack or Josh has any questions, but this certainly would be a good one, and I'm sure that people are going to be excited about your answer to this. But what kind of advice would you give to someone here that we have on tonight that is still sitting on the sidelines and has not taken any type of action? Maybe they're afraid, maybe they've got people that are in their sphere of influence that are telling them that they can't do it, something like that. What kind of advice would you actually give these type of people?
Yeah, so my dad, he actually sells on Amazon with me, and part of the reason he does that is because I wanted to create an Amazon business for him so that he could, retire, because he's been a government slave for 22 years now. So anyways, we created that. He just filed his retirement paperwork, and it's really awesome. But then all of a sudden, we had a massive amount of competition in the market for this specific product that we launched together, and our profits had really steadily declined. And so we're launching new products, and basically with this first product, I really launched it. So I was the one who pretty much got this business successful, and my dad just kind of helped out, and then we're splitting it. But I had really done most of the work. So now I'm okay, I've got all this stuff going on. There's no way I can create this business for you. You're gonna have to step up and do it. And he's fine. He's a great dude. My dad's awesome, and he's ready to step up. And so it's been 2 months though that he's been toiling with which products he's gonna launch. He's been scoring different products with our score sheet and checking out all these different products to do. And what I realized was oh, he's kind of putting it off, and it's probably because he's intimidated. So I called him up and I talked to him, and I was what's going on? We were supposed to launch a new product months ago, and our business is just going to keep declining until we get a new product that's going to do better and, you know, be more sustainable. And he after like 20 minutes, he finally admitted to me, he was like, you know what? It's actually really intimidating. He's like, you know, I'm taking our last funds here to buy, you know, an order of products, and you know, I'm you know, taking my time off of work, and I'm, you know, investing basically everything I have left to get this new product up, and you were the one who did it first, right? So I've never done this before myself, is what he told me. And basically, we the bottom of it, and the real thing that he was doing was he was trying to do all these different little actions that made him feel like he was actually getting something done, but was really putting off the fact that what he really needed to do to grow our business was take on that scary feeling, was take on that intimidation. So, you know, if there's anyone else out here who's, you know, trying to get the product up, or, you know, messing around, but they just haven't taken that big action step that they know is what it really takes deep down inside, they know it's what it takes to actually create their business and make it successful, it's often the thing that you're most afraid of. It's often the thing that's most intimidating, that's most scary. So my advice on that side of things would just be, if there's something that's scary, if there's something that's intimidating, put on your battle shield, grab up your sword, and just like dive straight towards it. You know, take that thing on. And honestly, as soon as you get this attitude, you're like, I'm gonna take this on. Oh! You know, as soon as you get that attitude, taking on that scary thing, it's actually going to be a lot of fun, and it's actually not as scary as you think it is. It never is.
Yeah, and you know what, John? It kind of reminds me, it's been a while since I actually went bungee jumping, and while I was in Vegas this past time, I actually forget for what actual seminar it was for, but I headed over to the stratosphere, and I did the bungee jump in the stratosphere, which isn't quite as scary as the actual bungee jumping, but I remember when I was up there, and I was like, this is going to be so easy. I did the other bungee jumping like 10 years ago, and this is going to be super easy, and I can totally do this. And what wound up happening is when I got up there, it was so hard to actually just take that first step, because then you realize, oh my God, I'm really way the hell up here. What the heck was I thinking? You know? And so it certainly helped that the guy that worked there kind of gave me a good shove to get me over the edge. But I'll tell you, after that happened and after I let go, all the fear sort of went away, because I realized, all right, I already dived. I already took a dive. I'm already just flying down the side of the building, and this is pretty fun, you know? So I think that for most people, if they haven't pulled the trigger, you're absolutely right. They're afraid to take that first step and cross that line. But once you cross the line, you sort of realize that all the rewards are in the rest of the process and just how fun this actual business can be. It's very exciting when you see things that are selling and you start to see your work all come together and pay off. So I think that was a great piece of advice. And I guess, would that be the same piece of advice you give somebody that's actually having already a tremendous level of success?
So for someone who has already had a tremendous level of success, I think the biggest thing comes after that, and this is like success is often like your biggest impediment to success. And what I mean by that is, like, oftentimes people become like really successful and they kind of lose that special sauce that made them successful in the beginning. And so this happened to me, you know, personally, like last year. I ended up like blowing a bunch of money and just kind of, you know, taking back and, you know, wanting to, you know, do fun stuff all the time and just kind of like live this like impossible lifestyle, right? So what ended up happening was, like, you know, my businesses started to decline, and what I realized was, like, you know, you're always going to have to work in life, and I also think that work is some of the most rewarding stuff you can do. There's like nothing that makes me quite as happy, and, you know, I've done all kinds of amazing stuff, like jumped off the world's highest bungee jump. I just spent like an amazing week in Maui where we jumped off literally about 15 waterfalls, and that was super cool. You know, I did all kinds of cool stuff, driven Lamborghinis and Ferraris and stuff, and my most rewarding feelings have honestly been when I've launched a new product and I see it start doing well. It's like, it's ironic that even like right now, I'll launch a new product and I'll see it do like $300-400 a day, and I'm just like so extremely stoked about that. That feeling, honestly, is like some of the most fun to me. And you don't have to work all the time. You know, like people think, like when I say this, like you got to work all the time. You honestly don't. You just need to be able to work consistently. So if it's like 2 to 4 hours, a day on average, or, some people like to work, a couple weeks really intense and then take like a few weeks off. Whatever your schedule is, you just got to find a way to where you can actually work on a consistent basis and, make that part of your life. And then also, the thing is a lot of people stop working because they stop enjoying the work. So you got to find a way to make what you do fun and enjoyable. And so, that's like some of the stuff for me. That part of the reason, I actually created Kibly is because it's really fun. I really enjoy seeing like all these people, massively increase like their reviews or increase sales, whatever it is. So stuff like that you can find rewarding in your work, make that your target and make that the reward, the reason why you're willing to do some of the stuff that sucks to get the awesome stuff that rocks.
Right, and you know what? That's why I mentioned bungee jumping. I figured just by knowing you and having spent a lot of time at the Thai Locals event that you were a bungee jumping kind of guy, so I knew that would really hit a chord with you, John, so I was absolutely right. While we're waiting, Smack and Josh, if you have any questions, please chime in now, but before they jump on with that question, get back into OMG Way and let's do a hashtag bungee, because like I said, and that's the scariest part about anything is actually taking that very first initial leap. If you just think of it as a bungee jump and how scary it is, if any of you have done the bungee jump, it is extremely scary to take that first step off, but after that it's just sort of like a free fall, and you realize that you have no control anymore. All the control was in that very first step. Once you take it, you're just headed down, and there's really not much else you can do. So give a hashtag bungee if you're actually in the group to show John you know exactly what he's talking about when you have to take that first level or pull the trigger. It's all the same thing, but it's very scary for most people. So Smack and Josh, anything to add for John before he jumps in to show everybody a demo of this software?
Yeah, what review percentage are you getting of sales? Are you getting as product reviews?
I don't think we have it down as far as our review percentage, but I know that we get, we've had people either switch or just start, and usually we've had people that switch from something else. They've usually gotten in between like 5 to 10 times more reviews and feedback than they've been previously getting. And part of that reason is because we actually have a really insanely high open rate. So our average user open rate is above 40%. So when they send emails, you're seeing not almost a majority of your customers actually reading your email, which obviously is really powerful. So as far as review percentage, honestly, don't have an answer for that. It kind of varies based on the product. Like for example, if you buy soap, you're probably not going to review that as much as if you buy like a facial cream that you're really excited about, making your face look better or whatever, and it actually does a really good job, you're way more, enthusiastic about reviewing something that you care so much about versus just a necessity you need for, like charging your phone or washing your body or whatever.
Awesome.
I've found, but most Amazon private label products have a fairly similar review percentage, or at least I found it in my niche. So when you're saying 5 to 10 times more, that could be awesome.
Yeah.
So I was just wondering if you had the stats.
Yeah, no, I guess we should probably get those stats. We don't have the exact percentage on an average basis.
Cool.
But yeah.
Awesome.
Cool.
Anything else from Smack or Josh?
Yeah, actually. So John, I mean, you had how many failures, man? You had I couldn't even count. And most people, 99% of people give up after 3. How or why did you keep pushing?
So in the beginning, I had about 7 failures, and honestly, maybe more than that. All I know is it was constant failure for about 6 to 7 months, and it was really miserable as hell. I think what kept me going is I didn't have an awesome group like this where I could chime on, or I could catch on and hear people that are being successful, looking back at what made them successful or what they had to push through and stuff. So I didn't really have anything like that. But what I did have was I knew that I had a baby on the way, I had no home to live in, and a brand new wife, and it bothered the hell out of me that I wouldn't be able to provide for them, that I wouldn't be able to have a marriage that my wife wanted, I wouldn't be able to have great birth or buy good food for them. And it was something that was so not okay with me. I was like, I don't care what it takes. I'm going to keep doing this. There's other people that have been successful at it. So, gosh dang it, I've got to be able to do this myself. And I think, though, that really it would have been really, really powerful to have someone that would say, to me back then, every failure you have is another stepping stone to success. That's honestly the truth. For me, those failures were such amazing learning experiences, and they were honestly the stepping stones to what I built my success off of. And I think if I didn't have those failures, even if I would have created my success, I would have been vulnerable to failure just because I hadn't gone through it. And I didn't know what it looked like. After I built my businesses and I finally had my lucky break or opportunity, whatever you call it, I knew to protect against certain things, and I'm sure that would have, could have crippled me along the way. So, anyone out there, struggling with any failures or whatever, just know that the more failures you have, the more success that you're prone to get. And, if you just keep pushing through it, it's not failure, it's feedback, and it's just a stepping stone.
Right.
Thank
Awesome, John. Anything else from John, Josh, or Smack before John jumps into a demo of Kibble? Awesome. I guess not. Let me go ahead and give you, let me know when you're ready, John, and I'll give you a presenter.
Yeah, I'm ready.
Okay, cool. I should be asking you. Okay.
Okay, cool. Can you guys see my screen?
Yeah, I can see it, John.
Okay, cool. So, yeah, this is Kibble right here. This is my personal account. So you can see like our open rates right here are, above 40%. This is for account, and this is out of like 20,000 emails sent this month. So, pretty solid number there. We have like a breakdown on your stats where we have like your, you can send 4 emails to your clients. So we have your first, second, third email. You can see how many you're sending. Your third email is usually where you're asking for the product review. So it's really useful to see when you're asking for a ton of those third emails. You can go check your listing and see all of your, reviews coming in and stuff. There's your emails sent today, your shipped orders, your next 24 hours of messages you're going to send, stuff like that. And then there's your email performance stats. So you can see your click rate, which, this is at like 4%, which is insanely high. You have your 24 hours, 7 days, and 30 days. And, out of, let's see, this is like 28,241 people here. We have like a 40.74% open rate. And out of those people, all those people there, we have a 3.65% click rate, which is huge, because the links that these people are going to be clicking on is a review link and a feedback link. So we have that. We got this template builder right here. So this is kind of where the magic happens. Whenever you get your account started, it comes with these default templates, and I've got like a ton of templates in here. But basically, it comes with your default template. So this is like you have a default first with a coupon or without a coupon. So if you're just like lazy, you're like, hey, I want to get this set up and start collecting reviews right away, you just select this one right here, and basically you can find your product right there. Your customers will see it, and they'll or sorry, not your product. They'll see your first email, and what we do with this one is we give them value. So we do a coupon code right there, and this is the one I prefer. With the first one, you don't do a coupon, so you can literally set it up and start sending emails in like 3 minutes. But if you actually want to do a coupon, you just go into your Amazon account and you create a coupon code and put it in there. I give them in between 10 to 15% off for my products. So this is like a coupon right there. They can go and get that, which, when you send this email to them, makes them feel massive value. So in this email right here, we don't ask them for feedback. We don't ask them for reviews. All we do is we say, hey, this is, my name from, my store name, and, we have all these short codes right here. This is the personalization stuff I was telling you about, and you can select little personalizations throughout here. But basically, there's a real personalized email. Everything here is personalized. This @nickname is a shortened version of your product title that we actually format to look as if it's normal conversation. So we say, hey, your toothbrush that you bought from us has left the Amazon warehouse and it's on its way to you. The reason we put your store, your name, and at your store name is because most buyers don't think that they're buying from Amazon, from you. They think you're buying from Amazon. So when you reach out to them and you let them know that they're supporting small business, that they're supporting, you, it feels like they're really doing good in society. Like if you were to go and, buy a product from like a homeless person selling something on the side of the street that he handmade, that same kind of feeling that you feel like you're supporting that guy. That's like the feeling that we want to get from them, so that they really feel like, they really appreciate it. So we have this link here. It's basically a really clean link, and everything we do here is like meant to be really clean, really like professional, so that you come across as really personal, but also like really professional as well. So this will fill in your store name here, and this is all automatically in there, so that there's really no setup for you. You just kind of get it in there. All you have to do, go get a coupon from your Amazon store and put it in there and save it, and it's done. And basically, yeah, you just this will get sent out, and this will link straight to your storefront, so that people can hopefully go buy another product from you. And then if they have any problems, you put this little message, customer service here. The reason that we put this link here is because people who are mad at you or the product or whatever the heck the reason they're mad at, you want to have them contact you rather than leave you a bad review. So, they can reply to the email, but this link right here, message customer service, makes it really easy for them to just click that rather than leaving you a bad review. And then, we have this second template here. This is basically a review link here, and a feedback review link, sorry. So basically they can, leave feedback on that. And then the cool thing is a lot of people will leave negative feedback if they haven't gotten their product, or they haven't seen it, they don't know where it's at. They're like, well, I don't know where my product's at. This guy sucks, right? So what we have right below this feedback link is a tracking link, and this tracking link is super, super helpful because it'll log them into their own Amazon account, and it'll show them exactly where the package is at in relation to it, being sent for them. And then obviously, we have this this default third email right here, which basically it's, hey, John, I hope you're enjoying your toothbrush. If there's a problem, whatever, let me know. And we say a couple things to kind of like say, hey, if you're not happy, your happiness is our business, so I'll get you taken care of ASAP. We put this message customer service link because right here, this is the review link that we generate for each product that you send them. So basically, we want to say, hey, if you loved the product, awesome, leave me a review. If you didn't, message me because I want to deal with your problem, right? That way they they don't leave bad reviews. Hopefully they'll just message you instead. And then basically this review link right here will actually, one of the unique things we do is it'll log them into their own account, so it's obviously a verified review. And then the cool thing is that when they see that product right there, when they see your product, usually on a review link they're going to see your product on the top with all their recent purchases below, right? So you have a lower conversion rate just because there's other products to review, or it's possibly overwhelming, they just click away, right? But when they go to this review link right here, all they see is one single product, and that's your product, and it just says how much reviews, like the stars you want to leave, and then what do you want to say about it. And so we have like a really, really high conversion rate after they click this link on them actually leaving a review. Because once they log in, literally, like, the only thing they can do on that page is leave you a review or click back. So that's, like, really, really powerful. And I forgot to mention, one other thing that we do is that if they leave you a bad feedback, we don't ask them for a review. Because someone who's pissed off at you and left you a bad feedback, obviously, more, like, way likely to leave you a bad review. So, we automatically filter that out. So that saves you from a lot of those negative reviews right off the bat. Are you still with me, Liz?
Yeah, I'm still watching.
Cool. So so that's all that there. Obviously, you can, what's it called? Add attachments. So for people selling, something like, let's just say they're selling a water bottle, and they want to, increase their listing. Like they want to say, hey, if you buy my listing, you're also going to get this free ebook. Or they're selling like kitchen knives, like, hey, I'll give you this free cookbook. And basically, you can attach your cookbook here so that when they buy it, it automatically gets sent out to them. So stuff like that. I can export all of my, orders to Excel right here. So I've got like 25 per page, and I've got 3,000 pages. So, do the math. That's like 75,000 orders. I can take all those 75,000 orders and export them to a CSV. So I have like the date they purchased, their contact, their address, their phone number, everything. I can export that to a CSV, do whatever I want with it. A lot of people like to, do stuff post Amazon sell. I don't really do anything personally I don't do too much post Amazon sell. I do small stuff, but nothing really utilizing this. But this is actually a really powerful feature because we store all of your customer data on our server, and then anytime you want, you can actually export all that data and do whatever you want with it, whether, like some people want to send them direct mail. I'm not going to comment on any terms and services, whatever type of things. I just feel like it's your job to take care of that, and it's my job to equip you with whatever I can. So, yeah, you can see quick order stuff right here. You can see oh, whoops, I clicked out of that. Yeah, basically you can see all this different order stuff. Based on your listing, you can unsubscribe people if they're messaging you and they're all upset. So yeah, you can do a lot of cool stuff there. You got rank tracker, which you can track your products, and to avoid showing my product to the mass market, I'm just going to avoid that. So then you have your email scheduler. This is if you were to sorry, we have an email split test. I'm going to show you on your account right here. So on your email scheduler, what you do, if you're a private label seller, you just click this button and you press save, and that's it. And I'm going to clear the sequence out for you, Liz, because this is your account here that I'm logged into. But yeah, basically you just click this right here, this one-click default scheduling, and let's just say you're signing into your account. So you sign into your account, you go over here, click this button, and boom, it's done. If you've already updated your coupon, you just go here and you click the one with a coupon, and then you save it there, and that's it. That's literally all you do, and we're going to start sending emails out for you right away. So that's the scheduler. That's how it works. Once you have all your schedules saved right here, you can see them, and then you have rank tracker, which you don't have any products in here, but basically you can add your products to a rank tracker. So I could add this product right here if I wanted, and I could just add that to a rank tracker, and then you can see your rank. And you'll be able to see it from the date that you add it. But basically, after a couple hours have passed, you'll be able to see your rank track all the way up and down forever. So that you'll be able to, once you add it to the rank tracker, you can see your sales go up every hour. You can see your rank track. Basically, you don't have to log into your phone and refresh all the time to see what your rank's at. You can just log in here once a day and see where you've been all day. This is really powerful for being able to make improvements, seeing what times of day are good for your sales and stuff, seeing when you can do promotions, stuff like that. So yeah, it's really cool, especially if you have a larger business like mine. We want to track how all of our products are doing, and so we'll log in here and we can just click on one product and see a graph of how our products are doing. And the ones that start going down, we just we start basically improving that, doing promotions and stuff. This is a feedback assistant, so you don't have any data in here. But what happens is if you get a negative feedback, you'll see it in here. But we'll also send you an email with a link so that once you click that link, you go into Amazon, you can actually get that removed right away. And you obviously know how to get it removed. But for anyone on the call that doesn't know how to get their negative feedbacks removed, a lot of the times people will leave feedback in the form of a product review, and it'll be a 1-star product review but as feedback. If you tell Amazon, hey, this is a product review, then they'll just remove that from your feedback because it doesn't belong there, right? That's a product review. There's other stuff if they use profanity or if it's exposing their personal details, the order number, whatever. You can get these review or these bad feedbacks removed. So it's really powerful for keeping your feedback score up at 100%. And then you obviously have Super X URL. So if you log in and you get the 97 plan, basically you can log in here and you get your Super X URL. You have this URL that you send right here, and it's what people that have signed up to Kibly. It's what you can use to send and start collecting rank on keywords. So we just had one guy yesterday who sent me a message, was super ecstatic. Or actually, this was 2 days ago. He said, John, I just sent 456 clicks through Facebook through a Super X URL to my product, and I was on page 20 when I started. I logged in today, and I'm on page, I searched my main level keyword, he said I'm on page 1 and on the 5th result. So it was like super, super powerful for him. Yeah, and then this is your product section here. This is our nickname. So we generate custom nicknames based on like an algorithm to sound really like personalized. So if you have like this long title right here, we're going to shorten that down into something that makes sense so that you can edit the nickname as well. But basically, if you don't want to do any editing, or if you have like hundreds of products and you just want to start sending emails, we're going to generate a nickname that sounds like it's in a regular conversation. So we add like this ... as if you were personally sending them an email, and you put the title of the product, but you don't want to say it too long, so you just put a ... at the end. So it sounds really personal, but obviously you could go back in here and you can say, hey, your 4-pack of Garnier. I don't know how to spell that, but anyways, you can do something like that, and it'll say your 4-pack of Garnier has shipped and it's on its way to your house. So yeah, that's basically like the grand tour. Did you have any questions or comments, Liz?
I just had one question for you. I know I'm certainly excited to give this a test drive, but what do you feel is like your lethal combination on those actual emails? Like, what is it? What's your email sequence? I know you use your very own templates, but what's the secret 1-2 punch that's getting you such a high feedback rate? Just for the people that are on here that are actually going to test drive this.
So the 1-2 punch, really quick, like awesome thing that's gonna, you see on this last 24 hours, I got like a 45% open rate, 3.6% click rate, that kind of stuff. These people are getting to the page, and they're, we're getting a huge amount of response to them, and obviously that's leading to, a bunch of new product reviews every single day. Like for example, I think about 15 days ago, or about 2 weeks ago, I remember this because it was like a week or so before Prime Day. Our product was at we have a new product that I'm just talking about right here. So we had this new product that was at 1,410 reviews, and I just checked it this morning, and we're at 1,510. So we literally got like 100 reviews in the past 2 weeks, and the reason is because of this 1-2 punch thing that you're talking about. And so when I first started, I created these templates because I've taken a lot of copywriting courses and different marketing stuff, and I learned how to write to people and engage customers, especially customers on Amazon. And what I did was I created these templates that really engaged them and got them to leave a product review. And then after I created this software, we had a few people sign up, and they're like, this is great, and I can see like the power of this tool, but how can I get these same results that you have? And so what I did is I sent them the same template that I used for my business. Well, after I sent a few people that same template, what I did is now whenever you sign up to Qzx909, you instantly get those same templates. They're already like literally right in your account. And those include that 1-2 punch thing. But that 1-2 punch is basically it's give value first. It's obviously be kind. Ask for a review, ask for feedback. And inside that feedback thing, we still give more value. We allow them to quickly track where their product's at. So we give a little bit more value there. And then we filter out people who are upset. And then on the last one, we've already taken them through this journey of a great experience, massive value, and filtering to where we're really left with like the cream of the crop and people that are really excited and engaged about you, about your product, and then we send those people the link to go review you. You review your product, and that's what's allowed us to generate tons and tons and tons of private label product reviews.
So is there any particular sequences that you recommend? Like which email template do they run? Template 2 and then template email 3? You see what I'm saying? Like the specific templates that you have in there. Is there anything you recommend for people that are just getting started and they're going to add their private label products?
Yeah, so what I'd recommend for them is, they go to their email scheduler right here, and then you just click these one-click default schedule, and that'll put them in the perfect order. So you have default first, you have an A and a B. This A is if you don't want any setup and you just want to get started in like 3 minutes, you just click that button and you're left with the A one. If you want to go and create like a little promotion inside of your Amazon account and you add that coupon in here onto the second default or the default first email B, if you add that with a coupon, you do that. So my favorite way is with the coupon. But like I said, if you just want to get started quick, you just click the one-click default scheduling, and that's going to already put those default templates that we've created for you in the perfect order to get, mass amount of reviews. And then, we've launched, we have 7 different businesses. You mentioned 3 of those are multi-million-dollar businesses. The rest of them are just high 6 figures. So those other ones, we honestly haven't even spent enough time to even put like a coupon. We've got like hundreds of reviews on our other products as well, and we've honestly done it with this just one-click default scheduling. So, it might seem like really, really simple, and it might seem like, there's no way that you can set it up in 3 minutes and literally get like hundreds of reviews in the next like few months. But honestly, that's what we've done with like 3 of our businesses now. So, that's honestly how it works.
That's awesome, John. So I'm certainly excited to get the ball rolling on this. As people saw, I hadn't added a product email sequence yet, but I certainly am super excited to do so. Because I know that as I spoke to you, John, on Saturday, I've been looking for something to replace Feedback Genius since I kind of wasn't, I think that's what it's called. I can't even remember. I haven't logged in there in so long. I just let it sort of sit there. But I noticed that the amount of reviews now is significantly less than the amount of reviews that I was getting like a year ago. So I know I'm certainly pumped about that. I'm jumping into the questions, seeing if anybody else has any more questions for you, because I know we've only got a couple of minutes left. A couple of people saying, where can we actually sign up for this?
So you can go to Qzx909 So that's Qzx909 and Qzx is spelled Kidly. So anyways, you can go to Qzx909 and you can see the different pricing tiers we have. So you can either start for like even $7 a month, and then if you're like selling hundreds of thousands of products, you can pay us like $300 a month. But basically, we have so like the good news is if you're switching from Feedback Genius, the cool thing that we have is like we've what's it called when you ask your people? Survey. Yeah, so we've surveyed all of our switchers, and we've asked them like what their open rates are and stuff, and basically we found out the average open rate for someone on Feedback Genius is in between like 15 to 25%. But we followed up with those people, and when they've switched to our platform, their average is in between 35 and 55% on the open rates. So you're going to see a massive change there. The other thing is that if you're sending, like 3,000, if you're sending like 6,000 emails on, Feedback Genius per month, like say you're selling, 3,000 units, or sorry, 2,000 units a month, that's like the magic number. If you're selling like 2K units a month, you're going to be paying like, let's see, that's like $90 a month on Feedback Genius. If you're doing that same amount here, it's only $37 a month. So we're literally like more than twice as cheap on pretty much every single plan that we have. So not only are you going to save money, you're actually going to be able to double your, hopefully at least double your reviews and feedback. But yeah, like I said, go to Qzx909 and actually I have one more special thing just because Liz asked me to give you guys something really cool. And so if you guys sign up and you message in, you just send us a message, we're going to give you 50% off on the first month. So there's like a 14-day trial to check it out, see if you like it. If you don't, you can literally just like cancel right in here in this billing center. You can click this gear button, go here, and you can literally cancel. So it's super, super, super easy cancellation. We do this because we don't believe in like forcing people to do stuff. We like to give customers as much, choice as possible. And so basically, go in there and cancel. But if you like the platform and you're getting awesome results from it, and you end up going on your, regular trial, not after the trial, you become a customer, you're going to get 50% off on the first month. And that's what we're going to do for everyone that signs up because of Liz.
Awesome, John. I certainly appreciate that. I know, like I said, I'm certainly excited to test this out. I'm kind of like, I know I've heard a lot of people have done the whole coupon thing, but I've actually never tried it. So I'm kind of pumped about that. I've literally got a couple of products that I want to test this out on that account, and I've got a couple more that Amazon has lost. So it's one of those really wonderful things that you go through where Amazon loses a couple thousand units of your inventory. It's such fun.
Yeah, I know. I hate that.
Good times. But certainly, Smack or Josh, any other questions before John jumps off here so we can answer some other questions before that? After that, I'm sorry. It looks like they've got nothing, John. So thank you again for joining us. I greatly appreciate it. Again, like I said before, guys, it doesn't matter how old you are. 23 years old. I certainly think that a lot of people here, I see a couple of the comments here, John. A lot of people are saying, what a great mindset you have for 23-year-olds. For a 23-year-old, I agree, but I got to say that, I mean, John kind of seems to me more like an old soul. He doesn't even really actually act that much like a 23-year-old guy. Like I said, I hung out with him extensively at the Ty Lopez event over in LA. I got to hang out with him, his baby, and his wife. All super nice people, had an amazing, amazing time. These are the kind of people that you meet when you get out on the road at events. And at first it could seem a little bit uncomfortable. It is a little bit uncomfortable. I certainly preferred a long time ago to just sit in my hotel room and call back home when I was out of town on these events. But I soon learned that the real secret was getting out there and meeting some people. And this is one of the people that I met. Coincidentally, we happened to have the same buddy, which was good old Greg in his Porsche. So
Yeah.
I know for a fact that he's a really good guy, him and his brother. So I know that they were super excited about you when they talked about you. But I highly recommend everybody take a look at this, see, try it out. You get a free trial, like you said. You can start with the starter monthly for as little as $7 and see what happens. See if you like it. I for sure am going to check this out, and I'll keep everybody updated. But other than that, thank you so much for joining us, John. I really, really appreciate it. And as I said before, let's get in the OMG way, actually, if you guys aren't in there already, and just give John a hashtag anything. There's a bunch of thank yous, a lot of thank yous, but hashtag thanks John, or just hashtag John, or hashtag Kibley. Whatever you guys want to do, just give him some love here. A couple people, thank you, looks great, great presentation, John, thanks so much, lots of value. And a lot of other things. So thank you so much for joining us, and I hope you have a great rest of your evening. I, on the other hand, am going to jump back in here. I don't know if you knew this, John, but I actually have bronchitis.
Oh my gosh. You're tough.
What did you say? I'm sorry, I missed that, John.
That you're tough. You're on here doing this presentation with bronchitis. That sucks.
Exactly. Like you said, really, at the end of the day, it all comes down to giving value to people. That's the secret, or the big secret. People always ask, why do you choose to teach people this? At the end of the day, it comes down to giving value. You guys have not read it, I recommend you pick up this book. John's a big book reader. He actually recommended a book to me. I have it up here to show everyone. Let me see if it's actually showing my screen or not.
I think it's still showing my screen.
Okay, let me show
You
everybody.
guys see like mountains in the background, and it's my screen.
Yeah, it's some mountains. So you actually recommended to me a book that you read that you enjoyed a lot. It's called The Starfish and the Spider.
Yeah, that's a good book.
Yeah. Any other recommendations for the people out there? Because I know they're all very excited about what you shared, and they all thought you had an amazing mindset from a bunch of the actual comments.
I've read a couple really good books lately, but by far, I think my most favorite. I think it's got a tie between two. So I read Good to Great. I really loved that one. But I think the other one that I literally made mandatory reading for everyone that works for me is called Ownership, and it's by this guy who's ex-Navy SEAL, and he's like just super intense. He's very, very like honorable dude, super like the best like version of a leader you can imagine is what extreme ownership is all about. And for me, I have a lot of people that like want to, learn from me, or like people in my company, and basically I'm a young dude, so I want to learn how to be a really good leader quick. And so reading Extreme Ownership, I thought was like one of the best books I've ever read.
Awesome. So for people that didn't get that, that was Extreme Ownership. Who did you say was the author? Did you mention that?
Yeah, I think his name's Jocko Willings or something like that. Let me Jocko Willink. Yeah, so it's Jocko Will Inc. INK.
Awesome. Thank you for that recommendation, John.
Yeah, no problem.
Again, like I said, thank you so much for joining us, and I'm sure we'll be hearing some other great things from you here in the future. And again, get in the OMG way and hashtag give John something. A lot of hashtag John's Thank you, John. Good luck with Kibble. Looks like a great program. You are a machine, giving value to, oh, that's for me. Even when you're sick. So awesome. So John, thanks so much. Have a great evening. Give your wife, say hello to your wife and your baby. Hopefully he's still training for that pull-up competition that he's got.
Yeah. Yeah, thanks so much, Liz. It's been great hanging out with you guys. I think you're awesome, Liz. Definitely agree, you're a machine, and you have a great group here. And really, it's been awesome talking to all you guys.
Thanks, John. Have a great night.
All right, thanks. Yeah.
All right, guys. So John is going to go spend some time. He's going to go train with his baby for the pull-up competition. But that doesn't mean we're done here. We've got some questions still here. I think I answered everything at the top. I still got some adding to do to the group, which I will be doing throughout the actual evening. Smack and Josh, are you still there?
I'm still here.
Sorry, I muted myself because Marshall was talking.
Awesome. So Marshall wanted to speak. Awesome. So let me make sure I've got everything else taken care of. Awesome, Michael. Glad to hear that. Still going to add people to the group, so that's great. Learn by doing. Absolutely, George. That is absolutely correct. Amazon does not frown on follow-up emails, Bevan. It's pretty much almost part of the actual entire process. You have to almost 100% follow up. If you don't, it's kind of like having a automatic review machine in place. So you absolutely need to be doing that, following up. He's customizing the emails by it's created within the actual platform itself, Leslie. So he wrote the templates. The templates convert pretty well. And you can customize them by putting in special links for everything. So, okay. The follow-up message text should, for some reason I can't, let me close out my questions and jump back in them again. I can tell you a little bit more about the follow-up text message. So, okay, Anise, he showed that if you did the one-click thing, there was 3 emails in the follow-up sequence. And the one was a coupon if you wanted to. If you didn't have to. And 2 was something else, he talked about it. And 3 was actually asking for the review. But what I can do is I'm going to be setting up some sequences on the next 2 days or so. So I will go ahead and tell you guys exactly what they have. It's not for Shopify. This is for Amazon only. And it was Qzx909.com. So let me just go ahead and show you what it was here. Qzx909.com.
Hey,
Okay, let's see. Okay, so the buttons are mixed up. I will let him know that. Here's John. This is awesome. I use Feedback 5 and personalized my message with Mike's long help, and it made a huge difference. Amazing. Did you find any issues with codes being abused? That's a pretty good question, David. I wish I had read that before you left, but I will ask him personally that here and ask him tomorrow and then get back to you on that. I'll probably post that in the Facebook group. That is a very good question.
Can I answer that, Liz?
Sure, go right ahead.
Liz, just because I've been using codes in my emails for years, and I haven't had a problem. I think the issue is you're not putting in a massive discount code, so it's not one that people are going to want to send to go viral. So if you put it down, if you set the code as 1 use per customer, an individual customer isn't going to be able to go in and use your $5 off coupon 30 times, and the odds are if they tried to post it somewhere, it wouldn't really be used. And actually, if it was, for the dollar amount that you're putting in for those coupons, if you got new customers, it would be a good thing. So, you're not putting in, giving them 90% off, so it's nothing to worry about.
Oh, yeah, and somebody just mentioned, I just to let you guys know, I did tell John that I was not going to take affiliate commission on this. So that link is just for the actual special that he's going to do, the 50 off or whatever he said. So to get that special, you go /Liz, but I never take affiliate commission on the stuff that I personally recommend. It's not in OMG. The whole purpose of the actual thing is to show you stuff that we're really using and to help you guys. So I never do that, just so that you guys do know that. Now, if you're on my email list, that's an entirely different thing. But this is right now, like I said, I got him on here since I met him at the Ty Lopez, and he'd actually been after me to talk about this and start using it in my business ever since I met him back at Ty Lopez LA, which was, wow, that was like maybe April or May. So it's been a while. So the URL's not working. Okay, I'll talk to him about that as well. But let me go ahead and just message him, let him know that. Let me try it out on here. I see it is working. Maybe I put the actual thing wrong, but it's kibly.com/LIZ. So I'm typing it here right now so you guys can see. And it jumps into there. So if anything else is not working, let me double check, and then I will message him tomorrow. But I think other than that, this particular URL does work pretty well. So I just typed the 7 and
I think the issue is that people are not seeing that 50% discount, but what John said was that after they sign up, they need to message him, and then if they continue beyond the free trial, they'll get the 50% discount. So you're not going to see it on the web page. You need to send them a message after you sign up.
Right, so contact him through there and let him know, and he'll get you that discount. So again, if anybody has any other questions, submit them, but I don't see anything else. Heroku, no such app, I'm not sure. Okay, yeah, so he'll go ahead and message you back. The Las Vegas Amazon event. I'm trying to remember which one it was. It could have been the Amazing Selling Machine one.
Well, no, there isn't. The Amazing Selling Machine one is in September in Austin. I think what he's talking about is ASD, which is July 31st to August 3rd, which is a trade show.
Oh, I thought he was asking about what Las Vegas event I hung out with him at.
When you hung out with John? Oh.
Yeah. Or when I jumped off the stratosphere. Where were we at, Smack? We were at that restaurant, Del Toro's. What event was that?
Oh, shit. What were we at for Del Toro's?
I don't know,
Which is sold now, by the way. Robbie doesn't own it anymore. That was Becker's. That was Becker's event.
Okay, Becker's event. Yeah, Becker's.
That was Becker's event.
Website to contact. It's a website. Yeah, when you join in there, there'll be a help button, and just message John through there. So here's a question for you, Smack. I remember Susan a few weeks back talked about coupons, and it would be to be really careful when getting them. What are the things we need to be aware of so that hackers do not create problems? So could you just differentiate that so people understand, Smack? Because I know
we should probably I should probably do a presentation, and we should probably put that on the agenda. But what I was talking about was one-time use codes. People think are safe, and they're not, because if somebody gets a hold of multiple one-time use codes, they can run them through a computer algorithm and go back to the original one, so that when you use one-time use codes, you still need to reserve your inventory. You can't give out one-time use codes and think that you might not lose everything. The issue is, in the good old days before them, you did one of the 8-digit coupon codes, and if the coupon code got loose, you could lose all your inventory if it wasn't reserved. That's happened to me. It's happened to almost everybody who's been selling on Amazon for a while for one product or another. So when Amazon introduced one-time use codes, everybody was all excited because if it's a one-time use code that self-destructs after it's used, you should be safe. But the problem is the one-time use codes are all based off one main code, and the Korean hackers came up with a system that if they had more than 2 or 3 of the one-time codes, they could reverse engineer back to the master code and still screw you. So one-time use codes are still good to use when you're giving them out to, your average person for a customer service issue. But if you're doing a giveaway with them, you want to make sure you still reverse engineer them, because people out there looking for this, just to grab your products.
Right.
And
So yeah.
But we should probably do a whole coupon. It should go on the list.
Right, yeah, that'd be great. So we'll definitely put that on there. So another question for you, Smack, since I know you're a regular attendee of the show, is the ASD show worth attending? I'm looking for wholesale products to sell or bundle on Amazon.
Most of ASD is wholesale. So yes, absolutely. Absolutely, John. If you're looking for wholesale products to sell or bundle on Amazon, you need to get on the ASD website, get your free badge, make your flight reservations to Vegas, and grab a hotel. You should definitely be there.
And looks like last question. We'll be going over how to pick a private label product. Chat. It's in the members area under product selection. That's still the way I actually use today to pick an actual product. I still use it to this day. We just picked about 7 or 8 products using that same system in the past couple months. So definitely recommend you still go over those webinars and take a look at them. So I think that's pretty much it for tonight, guys. We got done a little bit early, and I think we had a pretty good webinar. We learned quite a bit. But remember, the main thing that John focused on, it kind of reminds me a lot about, and I didn't even mention this, but the book, The One Thing by Gary, I think it's Gary Keller, the Keller-Williams guy, really focus on one thing. His thing was getting his reviews up higher. His review rate got really low, and he had to figure out a way to get them up higher. So a lot of people spend a lot of time actually developing their own custom scripts for these email autoresponders. The last question that I did want to answer is a couple people asking, is this only for private label? And the answer is no. And let me tell you the reason that is. One really important metric that's important on every account is seller feedback. Not product reviews or product feedback, but it's individual seller feedback. So it's important to have an account that has a pretty decent, healthy amount of seller feedback. And so in order to get that, you can start by asking for seller feedback from retail arbitrage transactions. And that's where I started every single account that I have that has had some retail arbitrage on there. That's exactly how I started up the account, by getting seller feedback from my customers and sending the actual emails out to everybody that bought a product from me, regardless of whether it was private label and or retail arbitrage. It's a tremendous way to get seller feedback, and that is a very important metric that Amazon actually looks at, especially when you are selling retail arbitrage. It's one of the actual metrics that is used in calculating whether or not you get the buy box. So
Can I give a ninja tip on seller feedback?
Sure. Did you want to do it on or off camera, Smack?
Oh, gee, that's a good question. Actually, I'll do it on camera for those poor people. Like I think David Fripp just left because he had to go to bed because it's like 2 a.m. in the UK. So I'll do this one, and then I can tell my gossip story off camera.
Okay.
No, but seller feed. The issue with product reviews and giveaways is that some people are concerned because giveaway shows unverified, and full price purchases are verified. Seller feedback doesn't have a verified or unverified issue. So there are people who I work with, when I do getting them emails for the giveaways, who do giveaways to get seller feedback. And you can actually do it merchant fulfilled, so that you are not paying the huge FBA fees on the product. I'm not saying you don't send them out. I'm saying you do send them out, but you can do it for the 99-cent commission to reviewers. offering them the product and, tell them, they don't have to give a review. They can just give seller feedback. So if you've gone out, for example, and used one of the strategies I teach my clients for ungating and purchased a cheap wholesale product like Band-Aids or Q-tips to use for the ungating process, and you find yourself with 100 boxes of Q-tips, you can put up a listing and set that up that you want people you're going to give away a coupon, you're going to give them away, and only ask for seller feedback. And you can get a new account seasoned with a large number of seller feedbacks really quickly, really inexpensively. So, you have 100 of them, you do it merchant fulfilled, it's, the box of Q-tips probably cost you 50 cents to ship, 99-cent fee to Amazon, there it is, $200, you've gotten an account with 100 seller feedbacks.
Awesome, Smack. Awesome.
That's my gift to you tonight, because I love you all.
Fantastic. All right, well, let's go ahead and do just any last words let's first start with Josh, and then we'll stop the recording and get Smack's story. So, Josh, any last words from you?
I mean, this whole system seems really awesome. Anything that can, get you more reviews is great. But also, I was really impressed with John's mindset. I mean, anybody who can, go through 7 failures and still keep pushing, I just think that's really amazing.
Yeah.
And hopefully one day I'll be able to use the same software. So, yeah.
Yeah. Absolutely. All right. Smack, anything from you? Last words.
No, my last words will be off camera.
Fantastic. All right. Just wanted to remind everybody before I give my last words tomorrow, I'll be back with Jared talking about actually failure. It's a little bit not necessarily why most people fail. So I think you guys will find that very interesting. That sort of connects everything together. But I'm excited for that. My last words are, as I said before, it's surprising, but it's not a surprise that everybody that we sort of encounter that has reached some sort of level of success has had many of these failures. But the important part about these failures is that they learn from them. John mentioned it very briefly. He took the actual lessons that he learned from the failures that he had, and he managed to turn something into almost what seemed like a huge overnight success. And although that wasn't the case, we didn't actually see all the blood, sweat, and tears that he actually poured into the business and all the several failed attempts that he had at actually taking a shot at creating this really large business. But again, at the end of the day, he mentioned that he did not have a community. And that's why you guys are in the absolutely right place to be in. There's no other place that you should be in other than OMG. Stop with the shiny object syndrome. You've got the best possible training being delivered to you week after week. That's all you need. Follow the steps. Get out there and take some action and stop buying other crap. All you need to do is just develop these processes, get things in like email autoresponders, things like that, and just get out there and sell some Amazon stuff and get some reviews. At the end of the day, that's what it comes down to. If you can just stick to that and do that, success is within your reach, whatever type of success you're looking for. So that's my last words, and we will see you guys next week for learning how to sell in Mexico. So I'm going to turn the recording off now, and then Smack will go ahead and tell her story for whoever is still interested in that. I certainly am, so I'm sticking around, and I will see you guys next week.